The day this story began was windy and even cold. It was the weather conditions that caused the little squirrel to fall out of the nest. It happened in southern Africa in front of Simone Serfantein and her friend. Naturally, the squirrel cried and called for her mother, but she never came. See what happened to her next in this video. We thought this little creature would be able to protect itself, but we came to help it, Simone said. Naming the squirrel Dingigi, the girl had no idea what a beautiful continuation of this story would be. At that moment, she was very worried. The squirrel kept screaming and did not open its eyes. Simone left the squirrel in the warmth of her house and wondered if the baby would manage to survive the night. From then on, a difficult period began in Simone's family life. Neither Simone nor her boyfriend knew anything about how to raise a squirrel, so at first they studied all the information they could find on the internet. The girl had to get up several times a night to feed the baby. In addition to the food and warmth they provided for the squirrel, they also made her a cozy house in a shoebox. However, it was a matter of time before she gave up the house, Simone said. The lifestyle didn't allow us to stay at home and watch Dingigi all the time, so we had to take her with us to work. For the next 3 months, she would eat and climb into my scarf or t-shirt collar every morning, and we would walk to work together. But everyone in the family understood that the squirrel is a wild animal, and she would like to know the taste of freedom. That's why they didn't lock her in a cage and were ready to let her go. They themselves decided to encourage the squirrel to get to know nature and the world around her. A few months later, the couple took the squirrel to the reserve. She was carefully lowered onto the grass, and soon she was climbing the tree on her own, so nimble, as if that was all she had been doing since birth. It was a joy to see how quickly she settled into the wilderness, but at the same time, it was sad to say goodbye to her like that. But the story didn't end there. For the past few months, the squirrel had been coming back to the family home regularly. When Simone came home from work, the squirrel would run into the house after her to say hello and then return to the reserve. We started leaving an open window for her during the day so she could leave and come back whenever she wanted. Many times I woke up at night to find her curled up next to me. She knew it was warm and safe here, so she loved to come back. A few months later, something strange happened. Dingigi came into the house and began to build a nest. That's where the box and cloth and toilet paper came in handy. Having realized that Dingigi was waiting for her offspring, Simone did not interfere with her and just carefully watched the squirrel. Pregnancy was difficult, the impact of Dingigi's difficult childhood and blunted reflexes. The squirrel was stillborn, and there was nothing Simone could do about it. However, time passed and Dingigi became pregnant again. We could see the baby's movements in her belly, and this time there was no problem either. The squirrel was born healthy, but for some unknown reason, Dingigi had lost her milk. Simone realized this was a sign, and with a familiar gesture, she took the pipette. Dingigi did some of the mothering tasks, warming, licking the baby, so this time it was much easier for Simone. And there was even time for a photo shoot with the tiny pet. How small she is! Great furry pets. And now the girl is ready, and she will have to be the godmother of squirrels more than once. It's fate, but Simone will get through it all. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like and subscribe to the channel. There are many more interesting, funny, and a little crazy things ahead of you. See you soon!